All right, who wants to fight first? You look like you might put up a good fight.
Yeah, right. Take your shot.
They killed him! No, go away! I couldn't get you this time. Bitch! What is he doing? What is he doing?
Back after the ultimate improvement!
I would be so fucking mad! No one will ever know! This is racist. Hey, we win. Highest kill streak of 3 with the Pomson. I top scored as engineer. Engineer. The 6th class in the lineup that makes up the characters of Team Fortress 2. He's also not a class I really played all that much aside from Capture the Flag. So why is he the star of my first video with something resembling a script? Well, he's not. This video is about one of his items. That being the Pomson 6000. The Pomson 6000 is an engineer primary added way back in the Australian Christmas update of 2011 as part of the Brainiac pack. It's part of a collaboration with the Weta Workshop, which actually brings their props from the Dr. Gordbort's collection into Team Fortress 2, which also included the Cowmangler, Righteous Bison, Flog, and the Man Melter. You can actually buy replicas of the Righteous Bison, Man Melter, and Pomson, but all of them are sold out now. I actually own the Bison replica, which is very cool. Unfortunately, not the Pomson. So, like, if anyone has a Pomson replica, please, out of the kindness of your heart, send it to me. I want it so bad. I can't find it anywhere online, and if I did, it would probably be really expensive. Like, please? Please, I'm begging you. The stats for the Pomson are that it does not require ammo, which you know, is always a plus side, you know, not having to worry about ammo, even if you are an engineer. The projectile cannot be reflected by a pyro, and also, fun fact, can also not be deleted by the short circuit, which again, is pretty good. And on hit, it reduces a medic's uber charge by up to 10%, and it can drain a spy's cloak by 20%. And lastly, it only deals 20% damage to buildings, so that's going to be 12 damage each shot on any of the engineer's buildings. But wait!
There's more.
No. If you play Team Fortress 2, you know Valve loves to put in hidden stats that aren't shown in the item description. So, let's go over some of the Pomsons. Actually, no, not some, all of them, because this is a video on the Pomson. The Pomson's clip size only has 4 shots instead of the shotgun's 6. Its max damage is 72 instead of 90, and it has a slower firing speed and a slightly slower reload. That's a lot of stuff that they don't tell you, but if you use this thing, then you kind of catch on to it pretty fast. The Pomson handles differently than most of Engineer's unlocks because unlike all those hit-scan pellet-shooting shotguns, the Pomson is a fucking laser rifle! As I was saying, the Pomson shoots out a projectile instead of shotgun pellets, and this is where we get to the public opinion about the gun.
The Pomson is one of those weapons where when you get hit by it, you can't really complain because of how shit it is.
The Pomson 6000 is one of the worst weapons in TF2, and thus one of the funniest, even though its effects could actually be very overpowered and annoying to drain uber charge. It's just so terrible with its projectile that it's one of the worst, if not maybe the worst.
The projectiles are asinine to use.
I honestly think it's kind of bad. I think it's kind of booty-ass dog shit.
And all it does is become a minor annoyance for medics and spies. And as a medic main, it does live up to that. 10% off your Uber can damage the entire team a lot. That is around 10 seconds of having to get your Uber back, which in a TF2 match can be life or death.
I think it's cute that it could take away like medic Uber and spy cloak drain, but other than that, I don't know. I don't think it's that good of a weapon.
What do I think of the Pomson? It's a fucking travesty, that's what I think. It's fucking horrible. It sucks. It's a shitload of fuck. You look at your poor engineer, and you decide to take away his perfectly good shotgun and replace it with a fucking baby's toy and expect him to defend himself. The Rescue Ranger lets you heal and pick up your sentry from range. The Frontier Justice gives you crits. The Panic Attack. The Pomson gives you worried looks from your teammates. Because now they have to wonder, either you're just a freak who just trains every day to learn how to lead shots and actually hit something with the fucking thing. But it probably means that this guy doesn't give a fuck. If you see a Pomson engineer at the start of the round, do not go near his dispenser. It's a shield, alright? He probably built it 2 seconds ago, and there's a soldier nearby, and you need to get out of there. Listen, I beat the shit out of Wash Bucket in a Pomson duel, like yesterday, so I can tell you, it's fun. I like using it, but it's not good. Don't fucking use it, please.
It's the Pomson 6000!
Yeah, it's seen as not very good, and the projectile is the main reason why. The Pomson's projectile moves at 1200 hammer units per second, which is only 100 hammer units faster than soldiers' rockets. People always say that the speed of the projectile makes the Pomson unusable, but I beg to differ. Because there's another aspect of the projectile that is worse than the speed. Oops. Yeah, that's right. For some reason, teammates can eat your shots. Team Fortress 2 has a thing where your projectiles collide with teammates from further away, but the Pomson's laser collides no matter what. which I guess is a relic from when the Pomson would actually penetrate enemies and actually hit them multiple times, like the Righteous Bison, and then they made it single hit and just forgot to change that, which is annoying, but we'll get to that later. So let's talk about actually using this thing. First, loadouts, because it's one of the things I like about it. You don't really have to pair it with any specific items, and you can just play engineer like normal. If you suck at aiming your shots, you can use the pistol as a backup, because it is certainly way quicker than reloading. The short circuit is for deleting projectiles, and the Wrangler is the Wrangler. The same thing can be said about wrenches. It's mostly down to what you want or what situation you're in. From my personal experience, I think the Pomson works best in more defensive engineer playstyles with leveled sentries where the enemy is coming towards you. Any good engineer should be playing around their sentry, and that's exactly what you do. Stick around your gun, spamming shots every which way, giving sort of suppressing fire. Just turn the game into even more of a bullet hell for the enemy. At max range, the least damage the Pomson will do is 32, which when you think about it is kind of a decent chunk of damage, and can be a real help to your team fighting in the front lines. And because you have that infinite ammo, why not just spam the thing? That's clearly what it was designed for. Though you still have to remember the whole teammates absorbing your shots thing, so you have to try and shoot around them, which I found isn't too hard and honestly not very punishing if you're just taking pot shots here and there. And if you ever get into direct combat, because you're sticking around your sentry, the enemy will move more predictably because they don't want to get murked by your gun. You're probably wondering where the Uber and cloak drain come into play. Well, that's kind of its own thing, as you can't really tell how much of an impact it's making.
You're a bitch, you know that?
The drain percentage actually scales based on range. Close range, draining the max 10% Uber and 20% cloak, and max range, draining nothing. So you can't just snipe the medic and drain his Uber, unfortunately, though that would be pretty funny. Despite you encountering spy more as engineer, I would say that the Uber drain actually comes into play more than that. People say that it's just better to kill the medic, but think about how often it is for an engineer to be in position to kill a medic unless you're playing Battle Engie, which I already said that this weapon does better in more defensive play. Also, you can one-shot kunai spies, which is funny. As for landing your shots, that's just practice and intuition, as is with any projectile weapon. Though, do note, it seems like the projectile comes out slightly under the barrel of your gun, but I honestly barely noticed that until it was brought up to me. So, why even use this thing? The shotgun is a reliable high damage dealer, the panic attack has a fixed pellet pattern, the Widowmaker rewards accuracy with an infinite clip, the Frontier Justice rewards game sense with crits, and the Rescue Ranger allows you to heal and pick up buildings from long range. So why use what is considered engineer's worst primary? Well, there is none. Like I said, it is objectively the worst primary and possibly worst item overall. But wash, I hear you think. Yeah, I can hear your thoughts. And no, I will never leave your head. Why do you, the cool, handsome, and delicious gamer that you are, like the Pomson so much? Because it's seen as a bad weapon? Okay, let me explain.
Here I come! What's the problem? Don't underestimate me. I'm awesome! Woohoo! Piece of cake!
This is Dan. He is a character in the game Ultra Street Fighter 4 and is considered to be the worst, contending with only one other character. And I love him. I love Dan for many reasons, and the fact that he's underpowered is one of them. And in many ways to me, him and the Pomson are the same. They're bad, but when the right person comes along, they can take them and turn them into a force to be reckoned with. Getting good with low tiers in fighting games is my thing. Being at a massive disadvantage but coming out on top due to your skill and knowledge is satisfying as hell. And the same thing applies to TF2. So to all those people out there, afraid of using something in a game because you heard it sucks, go ahead and try it. You might like it, get fucking cracked with it, and become a low-tier hero.